Hi there.
Hey everybody, it's Mark and Mimi. It's Travel Tips Tuesday, our webinar. And Mimi, it looks like finally, the comeback time is starting.
It's getting there.
Or as Richard Fain says, all red lights turn green, and we've opened our office up, haven't we?
Well, we've opened our office up to our staff, so I just want to make
Okay,
sure we clarify that because we
we're
we don't
following.
want
Yeah.
people. Yeah, we are having a half of our staff come in on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and half of the staff come in on Tuesday and Thursday.
So is
And
that essential and non-essential? Or how does that work?
that was just we just drew
You
names out of a hat.
Yeah, and we're following Kansas City mayor's guidelines because our offices are in Kansas, our office is in Kansas City. So we're doing what's best for our staff and what's best for our clients, and then we'll reevaluate at the end of June, right, as to
Right.
what we're going to do in July. But gosh, Mimi, we were looking today. We had a great month in May. I mean, shocking how many new bookings
Exactly.
we got. I'm so pleased. But hey, before we go into that, I told you I wasn't going to shave my beard until I thought either my birthday came or
But thank God your birthday came for
or
a
the
face.
comeback or the comeback started again. So I waited till the comeback, Mimi, because May 30th was my birthday and it was just starting to fill in. But so I had it shaved a little bit today. What do you think, Mimi?
I think it looks pretty good, husband.
What do you think?
A
Or
lot better.
or do you think it all ought to go away? Now the millennials, this
Well,
is what they do.
well,
All the millennial guys do.
here's what I got today, husband.
Uh-oh, what?
I got some dog shears.
Oh, dog for me
Yeah,
or for our dogs?
for you.
They're great. They're great. Now I know how I feel. I probably rake. We have Annie, our golden retriever, Toto, our King Charles Spaniel, and do I rank third
Well,
behind them?
well, I'm pretty excited about tonight. It's a brand new group that
Yeah.
we're talking about.
We know that a lot of people are going to be interested in vacations much closer to home, and being that it's summer now, the reality is a lot of people will want beach vacations. And you found the Opal Collection
Right.
of hotels, and I love this. Was really fascinating because they have 150 hotels under their portfolio, and hotels from West Coast to East Coast. But we're going to focus tonight primarily on well, I asked her to do a couple things. The beaches in Florida, they have a tremendous group of hotels in Florida, so we're going to spend a little time on those. But then, a lot of times maybe people just love in August, September, October, the fall foliage time back in the East Coast, and with a lot of the ocean cruises not going,
right.
there might be a void in people that want to go back east and see the beautiful fall foliage. So they have some properties up in the Adirondacks in New York State that I think ought to be fabulous to learn about. But they have boutique hotels to large brand name hotels, this Opal Collection, hotels right on the beach, little small cabin cottage type properties. They've got everything, small, medium, and large properties. They've got a budget to 5-star. I asked Catherine Joyce, who represents the Opal Collection of hotels, to focus a little bit more on 4-star and above. But if you're interested in budget properties, they've got a lot of those too. And maybe before we go into that, let's talk a little bit. Before you got checking my beard out, we talked about how good May was, and we got looking at business. March, April, and May, 3 of the worst months of the 31 years we've been in business. But our bookings actually are pretty doggone good, and they get better and better and better, don't they, as the weeks go on.
Right.
So there is light at the end
Right.
of the tunnel.
And I think people are realizing that they're looking ahead. A lot of people are planning for 21, but then there's a lot of people that said, I am so tired of being in my house and crammed in the house, and I'm ready to get out and just travel again. And so we've got Kim North this week has booked sevevel couples to go to
the all-inclusive
resorts. So
many of the all-inclusive resorts are opening up right now in the month of June. Now candidly, there's not a lot of flights out of the United States, and sometimes we can't go to where they are, but they're opening up for local traffic in their countries, and very quickly they will be getting the okay, and we'll get the flights to go in and out of different countries in the world. But we're seeing more and more of these vacation companies open up. Maybe the American Cruise Lines that is here in the United States of America. They were the first cruise line to open up. They're going to be on the lower Mississippi and then up in the Portland area on the Columbia and Snake River here at the end of June. So how exciting is that? And we're seeing more and more. You and I have had talked to a lot of the representatives, a lot of the executives in the last several days and weeks, and we're all, seems like August or September will be the times that these lines will open up, and that I think will be good for all of us. So lots of things going on in the world of vacations, and we're excited. We're ready to get it going. There's a lot of people, as Mimi said, that are very, very, very the pent-up demand is just huge. The pent-up demand is huge. So we're ready. When you're ready, we want the opportunity to earn your business. If you do us a favor, I talked to our staff yesterday, and I want to talk to you about this. We have a lot of hosted groups coming up, and I think a lot of people will feel very comfortable going with like-minded people to places that they feel comfortable on properties or cruises that they feel comfortable. Mimi and I have that trip coming up in August. We hope it goes. I've got that Bordeaux River cruise in October to Bordeaux, France. Andrea Redding has a Douro River in Portugal river cruise set up in late October. The Nile River, we've picked up 2 more cabins for people just this past week for people that got their vacations canceled here this year and want to go as soon as possible. So they're going with me, and gosh, we've got that ship almost totally sold out, and I'm so excited. By the way, you want to hear how bad this COVID-19 has hit and hurt the tourism industry? I was reading Barry Morris, my good friend and a guy who travels with us all the time with his wife Connie, sent me an informational piece about tourism in Egypt. And are you ready for this? In Egypt alone, they lost $1 billion per month since March. Billion per month, billion with a B, in lost tourism business. Most of the world goes to Egypt. A lot of Americans don't go to Egypt, but most of the world goes to Egypt in record numbers. And so you talk about a country that's been hit really hard, and tourism is a gigantic part of their business. Did you all know that 1 out of 10 people in the world are involved in some way with the tourism industry? 1 out of 10. So you think about how bad the shutdown of everything has been across the world, and how this has affected the world's economy just because the tourism industry has been so affected. But the good news is we're hearing on a daily basis positive things about, again, like I say, the ocean cruise lines opening up, the river cruise lines opening up, the all-inclusive resorts, as you've heard, opening up. Hotels all over are opening up. Gosh, I was walking the dogs last night with my daughter, and the parks in our area have opened up again. Thank goodness for that. And maybe isn't it nice when you see parks and the kids out playing in the parks again?
I know. And baseball games are,
Yeah.
our grandson.
Baseball, that's a big deal.
Yeah, our grandson, had his first baseball game Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, and I'm his agent, so don't any of you try to take him away from me. And I think he's going to be the next Bo Jackson, a 2 professional sport athlete.
So, well, while we're talking here, we want to apologize that we're having a few technical difficulties. So we want you to know that we will be getting Catherine on here real quick.
Catherine Joyce with the
Yes,
Opal
we're just
Collection,
having a few difficulties, but
don't know what they are, but you know what, we'll make it work. Hey, I wanted to ask a favor of you all. Those of you that have done business with us, our hearts, and you know that we've have a business where we hire people with the hearts to serve. And during these last 3 months, I just can't begin to tell you how much work our staff has done on behalf of our clients who have had their vacations canceled. And Mimi, you and I see it, but nobody else sees it. And my point very simply is the amount of hold times that we have spent to get answers for our clients, the policy changes that all these vacation vendors have made have been just mind-boggling. And I feel so sorry for those people that have booked online or booked with the big box stores that do not get any help during these times and have to fight the fight yourself, because it's not easy and it's draining and all a tremendous waste of time. But that's what we signed up for, right, Mimi? And that's what we do. And we have almost everybody's still at work. We're paying our employees and they don't have as much work to do as they always do, but we don't want our people to be added to the unemployment numbers in this country, which are just staggering. And we know that as small businesses grow, the economy will grow. And I would ask you to tell your friends, your family, business associates, neighbors about us. And if they're interested in a vacation, any kind of vacation, we would appreciate the opportunity to earn their business. We want their business. We need their business. We'd be glad to have it. And we thank you for those referrals. And we thank you for your business too. It means a lot. 31 years. Yeah. We've never seen anything like this.
You know, one thing that I saw today that, and I know you talked to Robin earlier today.
Robin Piper with Globus Navalon.
And they have a new, I don't know if she talked to you about that, but they have Globus and Cosmos has a new undiscovered for the U.S.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting to see. And plus, we've also seen some really unique itineraries from some of our vendors. So if you're looking for something, maybe you don't want a big group tour, but you want something small and intimate, we've seen several of the companies we work with that have put together really, really upscale, unique itineraries to some of the like Zion. And
some of the national park areas and some of the beautiful places. The United States, what a great, spectacular country for scenery. There's everything in this country, as you all know, but there's a lot of places that we don't know about it. You know, when this Catherine Joyce was telling me about the Adirondacks, Mimi, I'm embarrassed to say this. I knew that they were back east. I knew they were in part of New York and Pennsylvania, but I didn't know exactly where. So I had to look it up.
We're learning a lot, you know, and so, and you know, the other thing too, we've been talking a little bit about our condo, our place in Colorado, and finally, the
Comfort Condo.
Yeah, the Comfort Condo. We're super excited about our new website for that, www.comfortcondo.com. Finally, Summit County has opened up and is allowing guests. So we're really excited to be able to, we're going to actually head out there ourselves.
Week from Thursday, we'll be out there. Father's Day.
Get it all ready for our guests to arrive. But if you want a mountain getaway, there's really no place that we relax more than that. So
yeah, we travel the world, but this is the place where Mimi and I go to really get away. And I do encourage you, Google that when you have a chance, the comfortcondo.com, beautiful 4-bedroom place in Copper Mountain, Colorado, about 90 minutes west of the Denver airport, right off of Interstate 70 between Vail and Frisco, Breckenridge, Keystone, that area there. And it's your favorite place to go in summertime because you don't like the heat and humidity.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, this last few days, it's why I've been going back to the pool. Thank God the Y opened back up. So.
I mean, we live on lake and she goes to the pool to swim, but that's how it is, right? Hey, I also wanted to finish up on those hosted trips. I'm also doing, I'm real excited about this. Hope you'll go with me, Mimi, but in November 14th, the anniversary of our business opening, this coming November 14th through the 21st, I'm doing the Lower Mississippi River on a brand new ship from American Cruise Lines called the American Jazz. And we head out of Memphis. We have a pre-night hotel in Memphis. And then on the 13th and on November 14th, we head out of Memphis and head down the lower Mississippi River to New Orleans. And we see the Civil War history areas, especially like Vicksburg. I'm so excited about that part of it. And then the antebellum homes, the plantations, and all that Southern history. And I'm really excited about that, Mimi. I thought we'd be doing this later in our life, but I guess, well, I did just have a birthday, so I guess now is later, right? So anyway, I'm excited about that. Any word from Catherine?
Okay, I think we're ready here. We'll bear with us for a second here.
And go to our website, cruiseholidays.kc.com, and anything you hear tonight or anything you've heard from me or all these hosted trips, they're online, and we have a whole bunch of trips next year, 2021.
Okay, we're gonna give it a shot. So bear with us, please.
Yay, technology! I love it when it works.
Hello.
Hi there.
Catherine, are you on here? Let's just see if we can get you on our screen. Catherine, where are you calling in from tonight?
I am in the Philadelphia, beautiful city of brotherly love area.
Yeah, where Andy Reid came from, who is now our head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. So it looks like
work across the street from Veterans Stadium. I'm dating myself when Mr. Reid used to come in every day and his boys.
yeah, well, good. Now I'm hearing that East Coast accent. Well, we are so excited to hear about you. Catherine, I've introduced you. I don't know if you heard earlier that Mimi and you found out about the Opal Collection of resorts, 150 of them all total with hotel. Big brand names, small, medium, large. But tell us all about, I wanted you to focus a lot on Florida and then maybe the East Coast and the Adirondacks. Will you tell us about some of those, please? And welcome.
Absolutely, and thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to tell you all about our Opal Collection. So I'm just going to flash this up. I tried to be tricky for my webinar here. So this is Ocean Properties, which is our umbrella parent company, and then we have our collections of our Opal Collections, our Relais and Chateau, Margaritaville, Marriott, and IHG. So they're kind of intertwined in the areas that we're going to look at, and we're going to start down in the Keys because I was told that that would be a big interest to you all. Can everybody see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm just going to start us down in where we start with our properties at the top of the Keys, our Marriott Key Largo. So it's about an hour from Miami. It's a great little property. So it isn't too far down in the Keys. You can get there rather quickly. We have a little private beach here, which is wonderful. Over here, you can't see it, but we do have a third party that will take everybody out to snorkel, to deep sea fish and scuba dive. Down in the Keys, they have the only living coral reef in the U.S., and it's in the John Canapé National Park down there. I think it's state or national, I forget, but it's in the park down there. So they've got great fishing throughout the entire Keys. So this is a great little perk to have that right there on property. So you can see some pictures here of what the property looks like. Of course, our outdoor space is wonderful. And then we're just going to go down a little bit further, about 10 minutes down the road, actually. If anybody's familiar with Almirada, we actually have 4 properties there. We have our Maracay, which you're looking at. We also have our La Siesta, our Pelican Cove, and our Postcard Inn. Now, I don't have a shot of the Pelican Cove, but each one of them has their own little unique personalities to them. So this one is the top of the 4 of them. They're literally like 3 in a row, and then this one's across the water. So this is the Postcard Inn. As you can see, the beautiful Keys water here as well. This one has, then they were, Postcard Inn and the Maracay were just redone. So they have some great suites at Postcard Inn. They actually will hold about 40 people on some of their balconies for a little gathering. So if you have a multi-generational group coming, it's wonderful for them. And then over here, Pelican Cove, this is what we consider like our VIP property. So they have 60 rooms here, and all 60 of the rooms have a view of this gorgeous water. And it's just like a more upscale of the others, but they're all really great properties. And then again, La Siesta is not pictured here. We have our Margaritaville. If you go all the way down the Keys then and hit Key West, we have several down there. Margaritaville is right next to, like if you could see on the other side of this building here, Mallory Square, where they have all the craziness that goes on there for the sunset parties that everybody's aware of. They have the Catman, they have the acrobatic gentleman who hits that cement every night. I don't know how he does it, but that's the fun stuff there that they have going on. Typical Key West decor and the Margaritaville Key West flavor, the light blues, the seafoam greens. We have our own marina here, and then right across the waterway there, about 500 yards, you would take your boat out of here, is our Sunset Key Cottages. So you would just take this over. The launch leaves about every 15 minutes, Margaritaville time, Key West time, sometimes it's 20 minutes, but we have 40 beautiful cottages over here. The cottages have 1, 2, 3, and some of them have 4 bedrooms. Some of the 4 bedrooms have their own pool. There is a pool on the property for everyone, as well as, again, we have this beach area here. And there's a wonderful restaurant and spa. No better place to be. If you don't want to be at the craziness of Key West and Mallory Square, this is a wonderful place to be to watch the sunset. It's just so serene and calm, and you feel like if you keep your back to Key West, you feel like you're on a desert island watching the sun go down. Then we have our Havana Cabana. This property, as well as our Laurelette, which is not in this collection that we show, both are about 2 years old now. We just gutted these properties, made them to these beautiful little boutique properties. They don't have all the bells and whistles of multiple restaurants, but you're in Key West. The whole island's only 5 miles wide and long. So you just can walk out your front door and go to multiple restaurants for this property. And again, you can just see the seafoam greens and the teals and just that Key West flavor and color to it, the island Caribbean experience. So now the Sheraton, this is not a good picture of our Sheraton, and I can send you out some information that Mark and Mimi can share with you all. I just got a draft of what this property looks like today, but it's not in our set here yet. As of June 1, it became a non-Marriott property. We reflagged it, and it is a beautiful property. It's called Barbary Resort Hotel. And as you can see, it's right here. This is a public beach. It's the only public beach on Key West, Mike Beach right here. And we have a great, nice pool right in the middle of that courtyard area there. As you can see, are these? No, these are the older pictures in here too. But the newer pictures have that island flair, that maritime feel to it. And like I said, I can get those out to you. Great little property now that's made it a whole new look and feel to it. Some of the little perks for this, if you wanted to go down and fly into Fort Myers, we have a Key West Express. Some of you may be familiar with that. There's 2 boats in season and 1 boat that is in slow season that comes over from Fort Myers. It leaves, I think, at 8 and 11 in the day, and they are fully equipped with a little bar, a little restaurant, like munchy food, flat screen TVs, they have banquettes, they have outside seating, inside seating. So it gives you a great experience to start off with if you don't want to fly into Miami and drive down like the 4 or 5 hour ride. But whatever experience they want, they're both beautiful experiences, just a little bit more relaxing. One person doesn't have to do the driving, they can enjoy the ride down as well too. So this is just a quick view here, starting up at Key Largo where we were talking about. Then we have the Almirada properties, then you come all the way down here, and then we have our other 4 that we talked about as well too. Now not all of them are on here. We have a total of 15. We have a little property, like I mentioned, the Laurelette. We have the Weatherly Station, which is right next door to the property, and then we have some of our limited service properties as well there. And now I'm going to just switch gears real fast here and hope I do that better than I got online. because that's where Mark said the emphasis would be for your group. They want that Caribbean experience. And let me get out of here and let me get into my optimize. All right. I am not going to play games with that and why I can't get the whole thing open, but oh man. Okay, that's a little better. Not totally what I want, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to jump right in here. So he also had mentioned that you wanted to see like the west coast of Florida. When we start in Clearwater, we have 3 properties. Again, there's one that's not on here. They have a beautiful little property that was the Biltmore up in Bel Air, and we couldn't save all 270 rooms. It was ready for the wrecking ball. We went in, saved what we could. It's only 35 rooms. It's on 2 Donald Ross golf courses. It sits up on a bluff, so it overlooks the Gulf and has beautiful views, but it's a little bit of a ride down to the beach area. But again, it's been restored. It has that 1800 Victorian feel to it, and just a beautiful little property. And if they're golfers, they'll actually love the Donald Ross golf courses. Oh, let me back up 1 second. And we have suites in this property that are beautiful. We have the only, I talked about Bel Air, I skipped this totally, so sorry. The Sand Pearl is actually one of our 2 properties right on the Gulf there. They're about 1/8 of a mile apart from each other. The differences between them are, if you can see here, is our dark woods, our Tommy Bahama feel and look to this property, more traditional Floridian look and feel to it. We have the only 4 diamond restaurants in Clearwater here on this property, and some wonderful, great suites as well too. So they're for your multi-generational families, or just 2 families that are going away together. This is a great property, and the 85 suites are they're huge when you go into those. Those and our Longboat Key Club, I would say, are the largest suites that we have in the southeast. So then right down the water a little bit there is our Opal Sands. Totally different look and feel. So you have this concave shape to it that makes you feel like you're on a cruise ship, because everyone has a view of the Gulf. There's no rooms on the other side. This area here is up on like a level about, about 50 feet up off the water. But then if you look over the side, it drops right down on that jetty. It's like a straight drop. That's why we say it gives you a cruise ship look and feel to it. This one has more the contemporary look and feel. The light blues, the seafoam greens. And we have a wonderful restaurant in this property as well too. And I didn't mention on all of these, of course, we have all the water activities for everything, as far as being able to get used to kayak, canoe. The Sand Pearl also has its own marina. We do not have a marina at this property. And this property is going to be 3 years old in the fall. So it's relatively new. Lido Beach, this is more our 3-star property, but I did want to point it out because if you take a look here, this is our tower. These are just being completed on their renovations. The rooms are really nice. The tower actually has fantastic suites, and they are redoing the lobby area so that it has more of a better curb appeal, a nicer look and feel when you first go in. It has this wonderful restaurant, and it has wonderful views on the 8th floor. We've gotten voted best brunch in Sarasota there. Longboat Key Club, beautiful private beach area, 450 acres. The property has 2.5 golf courses. You can see that here. We have our own private marina. You can see that over here in this picture. And they too are under renovations. They are pretty close to being done. A couple of the buildings. The good thing about the renovations is each one of these is in a separate building, the renovations that are going on, so it doesn't really affect everyone at one time. They have this new look and feel with the waterfall marble down the side. There's mostly all suites. 198 out of the 223 rooms are suites, and the Key Club is a private club, so the ownership has to do all the renovations that we're doing to be able to let us go back and sell it in inventory. They have the kids club there. They have 6 restaurants on property. They have the 2.5 golf courses and the marina and spa. So they've got everything right there. Now I'm going to go through a couple that are in Sarasota, and they're all right off of St. Armand Circle. So they have the high-end shopping and the restaurants there, and some of them are over on Lido Key. So I'm going to go down to, what happened? Ooh, sorry, got carried away there. Okay, so Zoda is over on, that's on Longboat, but it is a smaller property. It was a teeny tiny little Hilton on the left side there, and we totally gutted it. You could see clear across the other side. On this side, added this building, so doubled the size of it, made it this very nice property. It's a little bit more secluded down the road on Longboat Key, but it's just a wonderful little property on the golf. It's hard to go wrong on the golf side, period, in my opinion. So you can just get a look and view of the rooms here. This one will be a year old in October. Edgewater, our last stop on the Gulf Coast, but not least, is a nice little property. It's all suite property, the only all suite property on the Gulf in Naples. It's 125 suites. They have 1 and 2 bedrooms there, these wonderful pool areas, and they're like maybe a 5-minute drive into town, which is Fifth Avenue, which is kind of like New York's Fifth Avenue, high-end shopping and restaurants as well, too. Now, I don't know what sorry, wrong direction, and I apologize. What am I doing? I didn't think I was that rattled by messing up earlier. Okay. Oh, and so that one just popped up. We do have some on the East Coast as well, too, but Mark said he wanted to focus on the West Coast, and maybe for another time I can talk to you about those, but can also actually send you out information on that as well. So then for the fall foliage, we're going to head to the Northeast. Mark said to just focus right now. I heard him say on the Adirondacks. I'm going to kind of skip through our New England properties. We're going to start in the Adirondacks, and we have 2 properties in the Adirondacks. They have about 3,000 square miles of endless freshwater lakes there. It's beautiful. The Adirondacks is a New York State park, and it's actually the size of Massachusetts. It's huge, and it has fall foliage to die for. The mountain peaks are the highest this side of the Rockies, particularly in Lake Placid. The 1980 and 1932 Winter Olympics were here. They were played over, they had the skiing competitions over on Whiteface Mountain, and they had the ice arena and all in town. This property is the only property on the lake, so it has the best views of the mountain as well as the lake. And it looks like a huge property. Everybody always says to me, oh, this looks like the property from Dirty Dancing, but it's so the opposite. It's very tiny, it's very intimate. There's only 30 guest rooms accommodations here. So this is the lodge with 5. We have 6 suites here, and there's a little building here you can't see that has 2. And then to the right here are 19 cabins. So it's perfect for social distancing. We're jumping off the walls with this and our Sunset Key Cottage property just because of the social distancing already built in with the individual cottages, and it's a very limited interior hallways and access, for people to be non-access for people to have that distance. Just a few quick things on this property. This is built in the true Adirondack style. So all the furnishings are made and hand carved by local artisans, and none of that has nails in it, which I find amazing because I can't put I have no artist ability, let alone to try to build a chair and keep it together without nails. But just to show the details, this is called our baby bootlegger room. They're known for their hackercraft boats up there. This is our hackercraft boat here. So they have a big picture over here on this wall of the baby bootlegger boat that won the 1923 and 1925 World Cup. But just to give you that boat feel, they took the bones of a canoe and stuck it up on the wall, and that's part of their wonderful art there. And they also have an art collection that's worth quite a bit of money throughout the property. Down here is one of the cabins. So you can see the beds are all individual, different look and feel. The cabins are all unique. Right now we're getting new couches and chairs in there, but again, they all have a different look and feel to them. You can see the pine wood in the ceilings. There's 50 wood burning fireplaces throughout the property, and we do some more roasting every night. And this is one of our Relay and Chateau properties. So it's just a special little property, a little bit more difficult to get to, but they could fly into Quebec, they could fly into Burlington, or they could fly into Boston, and then there's a little tunnel jumper that goes into Lake Saranac, which is only about 15 minutes away from the property. So this is just a really, really special one, along with my Sunset Key Cottages. And now this, people also say looks like the Dirty Dancing property, but this one is more along the lines of that. This is our historic building. It was built in the early 1800s, and you can't see, but you can see little rooftops that go around the perimeter here. Those are called our lodge suites. So they are more like a town, not a townhouse, but like a condo apartment style. They have their own kitchen, their own living room, separate bedrooms. Some have 2 bedrooms, and they are very popular this year, again, because of the social distancing and people wanting their own kitchens. But the historic building is just very special with that Victorian look and feel to it. This has very similar to our Longboat property. This has 7 restaurants on property. We have one of them, which is our Morgan, that goes around and does a tour every day. It sits right there on the dock, but it's not there in that picture. But we have an indoor pool over here. We have an outdoor pool. We have the lake area here, which has a little beach on it. We have all the water activities back here. This is our rec center. In the rec center, they have mini golf, basketball, wiffle ball stadium, little mini like tree house for the little kids. We have electronic game station. We have rock climbing there. There's a movie theater there. If they get bored here, they just don't have anything to do. There's a lot to do. If the weather's a little inclement, it's perfect because that rec center is indoors. We have a fantastic spa. Back here, you go down here, you got to cross the bridge. This is about 350 acres. There's another Donald Ross golf course here. So it's just wonderful views of the lake throughout the whole golf greens there. And then there's walking paths here. If they're into extreme sports in the Adirondacks, either at Lake Placid or at the Sagamore, there is tons of things to do as far as zip lining and extreme hiking. And in the winter, they have ice rock climbing and rock climbing in the summer and ice fishing. So they have a lot of the same, of course, they're in the Adirondacks, a lot of the similar things to do. The Sagamore has a skiing area about 40 minutes away, not quite as professional or as crazy or Olympic challenging as they have over at Lake Placid, but both good year round. Here at the Sagamore in the winter, we set up an ice bar up here, and they carve the bar back out of ice, the seats. They have just a plethora of fun for 2 weeks there. They do it up at our Somerset property as well too. They carve the ice bar there, and then they come down here, and we hope we have it for the last 2 weeks of January. Whatever God gives us as far as ability to have it longer, so be it. But those are 2 great properties and great options in the winter, and the rates are phenomenal in the winter if they want to get this experience. But they want to do a little winter getaway, yet they just had Christmas or Hanukkah, the holidays, and so they're looking for something a little reasonable, but yet want to have fun because we get packed there. Like New York City comes in and convenes on them. You wouldn't realize that it's really like a 3.5, 4-hour ride for them. They're up there at the ice bar. So that's what he wanted me to hit for today. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I'm here to answer.
Well, I'll tell you what, seeing these pictures makes us really want to go.
Well, that Lake Placid Lodge, wow. And I can imagine the colors that time, or in the fall time of the year, would be beautiful, wouldn't it?
Well, they have a Burning Mountain weekend up at Lake Placid, but the whole area looks that way because you have the orange, the yellows, and the red leaves, and it really looks like the mountains are on fire. It's gorgeous.
Can you go back to that other
Lake Placid?
Yeah, can you go back to that picture for a minute?
Yep.
What is this on the right-hand side where all those umbrellas are? Is that like a little outdoor eating area or? Oh,
over here?
No, on the other side.
To the right side of the picture.
To the right. Okay. Yes, we have the dock is over here. So again, over here we have like all the kayaks, canoes, and all that, and so that everybody hops on and off of those over here as well too. We do a lot of destination weddings here, so we can tent that for that as well too. There's a little fire pit here, so we have our s'more roasting there every night. They have little like marshmallows, Hershey bars, and graham crackers all packaged up with the longer dowels for you to go ahead and usually they're just sitting out there. We have them in a container, but with the social distancing and all the new things that are going on, we're just going to have those in the rooms for everybody this year. And you have to bring your s'mores outside, but just a really neat little area in the evening to gather.
And,
So that's,
and on the cottages here, how many bedrooms are the cottages?
I have 3 2-bedroom cottages, and then we have the rest of them are, they're sort of more like an open space area. One little caveat I have to remember, sometimes I forget that, there are no TVs on properties except in Maggie's Pub. We're all about engaging with people, not with your devices here.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, the window, they have a big picture window. All the living room furniture faces the picture window. The bed faces the picture window. So you wake up to, looking out at the lake and watching the loons and whatever else, the fish jumping out of the water and all the fun stuff going, just nature watching and relaxing.
Well,
No, Catherine, that looks absolutely beautiful. And I remember Lake Placid is where they had the Olympics, and there must be a lot of sightseeing up in that area too. And during the summer months, can you give us an idea what maybe the average temperature would be like?
In the evening, it's cooler. I mean, they could have a 90-degree day up there as well, too. But that's, the elite of New York used to, the Vanderbilts, the Morgans, they used to come up to this area to escape the heat of the city. And this is actually built in the style of the great camps of the 1800s. So they'd have the main building, of course, for the property owners, and then what would have been the cabins would have been for the help, and these would have been for the guests over here. So what a life, huh? I would have worked for the summer in that cabin.
Well, I mean, too, just breathtaking. Hey, Catherine, if we could go back to the, and just talking about it, back to the Florida properties, I'm just fascinated with the Keys, and those are such beautiful areas. And you've got small, you've got medium, you've got large, you've got almost all of them have fabulous beaches and pools. And the options to get to most of those places on the Keys is to fly into Miami or fly into Fort Myers, right? That have the big airports.
Yes, there is a small airport at Key West as well too, but you have to take that flight over from either Fort Myers, and it only leaves once a day. Now, I didn't do it. I've taken all different ways down there. So I think it only is 2 o'clock, at least it was the last time I went from Fort Myers to fly. So that's one of the reasons why I like the Key West Express. You didn't have to sit in the airport all day long until 2 o'clock or, get your early flight in and then bop down. But, again, I don't know what the connecting flights are out from your neck of the woods. So there might not be a big discrepancy in time there that you have to sit around the airport. But Miami too, there's usually great airlift into Miami, and then it's the 4-hour ride. But that Key West Express is just something, again, to give them that little Zen experience, relax and unwind, and start to enjoy the Keys by water.
Yeah, and those Keys are such beautiful areas, and there's so much to do. And then going up north from the Keys, that Naples area, my mom used to have a place in Fort Myers, and we'd go down to Naples quite often. And that Naples is just such a beautiful area. Like you said, with so much shopping, such great restaurants and golf courses and places like that. And there's just so much to do in that area. And then going up the coast a little bit farther north of Fort Myers up into Sarasota and Clearwater, that's accessed by the Tampa airport. And Mimi's mom and dad had a place just south of Clearwater for many, many years that we used to go to. And oh my gosh, I just love the Gulf Coast there. And so many of those places that were, the eating places that were, you wore your flip flops and your swim trunks or suits up there. What was it, Mimi? Murph's on the beach? Murph's on the beach and Frenchies, yeah. Those are institutions, and gosh, such a pretty area. And it's really a nice drive, a 2-day drive to get down there if you're not in a hurry. But there's just so much, and we wanted to make sure our audience had a chance to learn about maybe some different options that were, drivable, or New York, of course, you'd more than likely want to fly. And then, Catherine, you were telling me too that you had some properties in Salt Lake City and in Scottsdale, I believe, wasn't it?
We do. One other thing too, I forgot to mention, we do have a little property in Treasure Island called Treasure Island Resort. So that's between Clearwater, I'm sure as you all know, Clearwater and St. Pete. That's only about 3 years old itself. So that's also a nice little option for them as well too. I'm sorry, you did say the Southwest. So let me just go back to that one real quickly.
And by the way, I should tell our audience that our very own employee Jess Cummins is taking her entire family down to those Sunset Cottages that we showed early on, and she is I talked to her today, she's so excited about that, Catherine, and having a kind of little private island all to their own. Oh, that's beautiful, man. That switches gears from the beach and the Adirondacks. Wow.
So I'm back out west. Well, just a couple things too that are really cool there. They have a little ice cream cart that comes around the island every day at 3 o'clock. So you can go get your Good Humor Man Key West style. And then they also have a little, I don't know with with all the protocols now, we used to put out a little basket every morning of fresh baked muffins out there on the terrace for everybody when they would get up and walk outside too. That is just a great thing. Just the views alone, just thinking that you're there and you're relaxed and unwind. Or if you get bored, then you can go in and be part of the craziness of what's going on in Key West and shop in there too. Just hop on your launch and go back, and then you can come back to your peaceful world. But yes, we do have 2 properties in the Southwest, and they are our Marriott Salt Lake City Center. There's actually 2 Marriotts in Salt Lake. Ours is down closer to the temple. It's only about 3 blocks from the other one, which is over by the convention center. So we are just, this picture is old. They, again, like I said, I do have multiple properties going on with renovations going on. They are currently under renovations as well too. So this has a total look and feel that's totally different. It has more a contemporary look to it. It's the grays and the sands and the neutral colors. So it's a kind of we've got the Florida properties all sort of have the nautical look, and 2 of our properties up in the Northeast have the nautical. They have the white and the blue with touches of red and sailboats around there. But this Marriott and our Marriott Hollywood both have and that's more of a Marriott standard. It has the neutral tones and a calming effect for your relaxing stay there as well too. Now our Marriott is also just about a block away from the mall there as well too. So they're kind of in the heart of it all. Again, this is a year-round destination. We have the Winter Olympics here too. So if they want to head out to do some skiing, it's a little bit of a ride, but they're skiing nearby. And year-round, I mean, this is gorgeous in the background here. You can see the mountains just around that area as well too.
Yeah, Catherine, if I might say, Mimi and I went to Salt Lake City a couple of years ago, and that Park City and a lot of the mountain areas where the ski resorts are really very, very close to downtown Salt Lake. And oh my gosh, there's some beautiful areas. And Mimi, there's some pretty good jewelry shopping there, isn't there?
I didn't do the jewelry shopping, but I did the Park City skiing. And being an East Coast girl, I'm ready for ice typically. And I was such a klutz because my skis kept getting dug under in the snow. But after I got the hang of it, it was beautiful. As you said, it is not bad. We were there for business in Salt Lake, but we took a detour and went out and hit some slopes while we were there.
Yeah, people in the Midwest or anybody watching today has not been to that Salt Lake City area. It's beautiful with this big gigantic lake with all the mountain ranges surrounding them, and it's an easy flight to get to, or some gorgeous drives. There's national parks, on the way or close by. And again, like I say, the mountain ranges are just beautiful, but so much to do. And then did you say you had a property in around the Phoenix or Scottsdale area?
We have Albuquerque, but what you probably remember me saying was the people that want a Southwest experience, they usually are heading to Texas, Dallas area. They're heading to Phoenix. This has they have great rates here in the Albuquerque area, and you can get that Southwest experience. It also is a year-round, which I did not know until about 2 years ago. I've been selling the property for a while, and the director of sales told me they have the Sandia Mountains that surround them. And this picture doesn't show you, but there is almost like Salt Lake picture for our Marriott. They're just, you can see them off in the distance, and you can ski there. So you can go there for a skiing experience, which shocked me, but hey, you learn something new every day. Maybe you all know that because you're travel agents. Or you can just come here to our Crown Plaza. We have the only Four Diamond Steakhouse in the Albuquerque area, and we're not downtown. We're out at University City. So we're not in the downtown proper area, but it's a great location. Again, you've got great views of the mountains. And if my VOS there tells me all the time, just tell them to come to us and they'll get better rates and they'll have that same experience. So beautiful little area there as well to visit.
Yeah, and Albuquerque is that area that has that balloon festival, and it's just, oh my gosh, that's kind of on my bucket list to do. I've seen so many pictures of that. And then I think north of Albuquerque, if I remember right, is like Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's a beautiful, beautiful area too. So yeah, that's a fun area of the United States. That's cool.
Yeah, and that balloon festival, that I've only seen the pictures of it too. The hotel sent them to me. The sky is like wall-to-wall balloons. It's crazy.
Well, I'd like to do that. Catherine, that's so good. And I want our audience to know, first of all, we thank you, Catherine, for joining us, but I want our audience to know if anything here has piqued your interest and you want to know more about some of the properties that the Opal Collection has, whether it's in New York or Florida or Albuquerque or Salt Lake, wherever it might be, we can help you with this. And we thought it might be of interest to you to give you some ideas, maybe a little closer to home, that might be of interest to you. So again, Catherine, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and showing us these really cool properties and just beautiful destinations all around the United States. We have a beautiful country that we live in, don't we?
We've got many, many experiences here, between our Caribbean experience down in the Keys and our mountain experiences and our Southwest experiences. Yeah, you don't really have to leave our country, but it's good to know what's going on in the rest of the world too.
Exactly. Well, Catherine, again, thanks for joining us on what we call our Travel Tip Tuesday webinars. And I hope everybody that has been watching has learned a lot. And if anything, again, has piqued your interest, let us know. You can email us or check us out on our website, cruiseholidayskc.com, and we can help find whatever it is you're looking for. And Mimi, any last words of wisdom?
Well, just give us a call so we can help you.
And remember, it's comeback time and red lights are turning green. We're ready to take a vacation. I know I sure am, and I bet you are too. Hey, this is Mark Comfort and
Mimi Comfort.
We will talk to you next Tuesday for our Travel Tip Tuesday webinar. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.